Hello and welcome to Mr. Randy's Wine and Spirits. I am Mr. Randy, and today we're doing another Final Pour episode. Today's Final Pour episode is the Basil Hayden Artfully Aged from the James Beam. So if you're new to the channel, hello, welcome, come on in, have a seat. Good times will ensue. All my returning viewers, see, you know how we do. It's already started. Let's get on with it. So, what is a Final Pour review of Mr. Randy? It is the third part in a three-part series that Mr. Randy does when he does a review for a whiskey, wine, beer, libations of sorts. Today it's part 3, but let's take 2 steps back, up here, part 1, off the rip. Get the bottle home, crack it open, pour it in the glass, pour it in my mouth, have my first impressions whilst I record it. Part 2 is called the full review, and luckily, thankfully, these people have put a band here. So it's a guideline for Mr. Randy. So he will stop here. This is the ish zone. Mr. Randy stops somewhere ish around here. And I leave whatever's left in it to sit for a week, 2 weeks, maybe less. And I go on the internet, I get as much or as little information as possible, I bring it back to you, and we just roll with it. I score it, we talk about it, we drink it, we move on. Part 3, all the way down, final pour review time. We have the final pour in the glass, and we compare the final pour to the first pour and everything in between. My opinion of this bourbon has changed. Off the rip, I did not care for it. Halfway through the bottle, things changed. As I got to the very bottom where we're at here now, we're going to see if it's still holding true. So this is a 80 proof, 40% alcohol. It is a 375. I feel confident enough now liking this bottle. If you've watched the full review, you may have noticed that I kind of crapped on it a little bit. I do believe a lot of those points are still valid. I believe that they took a lot of time and spent a lot of money to make this bottle look as nice as it did. It's very elegant. I mean, look at it. It's got this metal band. I don't know if that's copper or what. It looks silver on the inside, so maybe the outside is just, I don't know. Maybe it's treated somehow. It's a very beautiful looking bottle. Doesn't that look like some kind of like very fancy heritage kind of stuff? And up here at the top, they got all that information. It just looks like a very nice, expensive bottle. Thusly, that's why they charge as much as they do. Do I feel like the bourbon inside matches all the hype and the price point? It's my personal opinion. I know you have yours. If you'd like to let me have your opinion, go ahead and drop it in the comments. For now, let's go ahead and get on with it. Okay, so the nose is turned down quite significantly. I have to put my nose in the glass. And I get blasted with the ethanol, what's left. Like I said, yeah, I have to put my nose in the glass and lightly take it in. But there is some cinnamon, some sweetness, some vanilla, a little bit of oakiness. All the nosing characters have definitely turned down a bit. Let's go ahead and get that first palate out of the way so we can move on. Viscosity is still pretty good. I think I'm going to do a Talking with Mr. Randy episode, and we'll talk about, well, shoot. I should have done that while I was having some of this before we got to the last pour. Crap. That's unfortunate. But I just may go out and buy a full bottle for the full experience. And then I will use that when we do the Talking with Mr. Randy video. We'll talk about Basil Hayden and why some people dislike it. And then I'm talking about people who dislike this. They like others that are same category, same price point, same prestige. And they crap on this like I did in the full review. And it's validly so. And it's not just Basil Hayden. It's a general issue, especially when you go to a bar of sorts, when they have a multitude, a plethora, a cornucopia, basically a bottle landslide Okay, and so a lot of these bottles, they sit behind them and they sit. And a lot of these bottles, they're kind of expensive. And even more so, depending on where you're at when you're drinking it. It could be very expensive to have a Basil Hayden instead of an Old Forester. You see what I'm saying? So they put a price point on it based upon the name, the branding, the aesthetics of the bottle, so forth and so forth. And a lot of people say that they pass over this at the bars because it's expensive. And they say, oh, well, that's something, you know, people wouldn't want to buy this because it looks too expensive. And it is for what it is, but it's not too expensive. And they don't want to try it anyways. So it sits. And we talked about it before, but the more air is in this bottle and the more times that thing gets open, it's going to deteriorate and degrade, and it's just going to, quality is going to go right down the drain. So over time, when those bottles sit on the shelves, it's just not good. And then when someone goes like me, who's never really done it, they go out and they go, I've never had a Basil Hayden. Let me have some of that. And there's like maybe a third of the bottle left. And it's the worst part. And I've heard people say it all the time. People have told me, oh, I've tried that and it was horrible. I said, tell me about your experience. And they would go and they would say, oh, well, I went to a bar. And I said, okay. And they said, well, I said, hey, I've seen that Basil Hayden and I've never tried it. Let me get a pour. And they had to pour, but I asked them, it's like, how much was in the bottle when he poured it for you, or she, the bartender, attendant, whatnot, how much was in the bottle when they made you that pour? They gave you that pour. Oh, it was less than half, or it was, you know, a quarter or something like that. It was very low. I said, see, that's the thing. Some of these whiskeys, some of these libations and spirits of sorts, they act different. They change depending on how long the bottle's been open, how many times it's been opened, how much is left in it, how long it's sat like that, and it just goes down and down and down and down and down. Some whiskeys, some bourbons, some libations get better over time. Some of them get worse. Some of them get downright undrinkable. Not a whole bunch of nose. There's not a whole lot of nose left on this. Let's get that palate on there one more time. That's nice and easy to drink, nice and smooth. It's leveled out. It's balanced. I do believe that this is going to be one of those bottles that, indeed, it will be better on the second half of the bottle. But as a rule of thumb, once we get to that halfway point, it needs to be drank faster. Don't drink halfway down and then let it sit on a shelf for a year or so thinking, oh, it's fine. No, it's not. When you come back to that, it's not going to be the same juice in the bottle. It's going to be much different. And you probably won't even remember what it was like the first half. And you'll get to that second half like, I'm not replacing this bottle because it was crap. It was horrible. I didn't like it. And you go back to buy another bottle and it's different. You're like, hey, that's much different than it was before. I don't remember if there's a name for that phenomenon. I'll look it up. But if you drink the first half of the bottle and the second half sit for a year and you come back and you drink the second half and you think, man, this is horrible. I thought this was a good bottle. Yeah. We'll be nice and move on. So let's get this final on here. So that's what I wonder. All the people who've said that this was not a good bottle, this was not a good whiskey, not a good bourbon, I wonder how their experience went. If you've had this, if you've had Basil Hayden, let me know in the comments. Please let me know in the comments. I want to know. Those of you that stuck around for 9 minutes now, I want to know your experience. How did it go? Tell me. When you had Basil Hayden and where was it in the bottle? Was it off the rip? Was it halfway? Was it at a bar? Was it the final pour? All those things, all those variables will decide whether your experience is a good one or a bad one. Let me know in the comments. I'm going to tell you right now, my experience with the Basil Hayden, it was a good one.